Hi everybody, this is Lisa Haven and I've got some breaking information in regards to the 2015 Bilderberg Conference being held this June 11th through the 14th. So right around the corner, folks. Security is already amping up, and the video I left yesterday, I told you I would be keeping you up to date as much as possible. Well, they have officially released their participant list, and I'm going to share that with you in a moment, and you won't believe some of the shocking people that are contained in there. But they not only released that, but they also released their agenda, at least the agenda that they're admitting to. Now, in yesterday's report, I released a few of those agendas that have been leaked, but these are in addition to the ones I shared yesterday. So let's dive right into that participants list, and I'm going to take you directly to the website so you can see it for yourselves. Let's go. Okay, so here we are on the official BilderbergMeetings.com participants list, and now it is showing. Final list of participants, and as you can see, there's a whole list of people here. Now, I want to make this note quickly because they're not listing each and every single participant. That's a fact. There are people that are not on this list that are likely going to be going. And considering this happens 3 days after the G7 summit, makes me believe that maybe even those attending the G7 summit are going to be attending here, especially considering the massive amount of security I discussed yesterday. But let's dive into a few of these. I want to hit a few prime ministers that are going to be there, and people who are going to be attending from America. Here we have John R. Allen, Special President's Envoy for the Global Coalition of Council, ISIL, U.S. and Department of State, so critical guy there. Executive Chairman Roger Altman, also from the U.S. And there's a bunch I'm skipping over from various countries that you're really going to want to pay attention to. But William Burns, Presidential Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. There's another one. Here is another one. Thomas E. Dillon, former U.S. National Security Advisor, very critical role there. And of course, Google is involved. Vice President for Engineering, Advanced Technology and Projects, Google, Regina Dugan. Moving on down, of course, J.P. Morgan Assessment Manager, Mary Ardez. I might be butchering that last name. Here is Martin S. Fieldstein and Neil Ferguson, also from the U.S. One's involved in Harvard, and the other is also Harvard. There's those. Scrolling on down, founder and CEO of Citadel, Kenneth Griffin. And CEO and Executive Chairman of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is also involved, obviously. And Lazard, Chairman and CEO for Lazard. Chairman Johnson Capital Partners, James Johnson, also from the US of A. CEO Technologies, that's Alex Karp. And of course, our infamous Henry Kissinger, evil man, and also Chairman and CEO of Alcoa, Klaus Kleinfeld. Moving on, co-chairman and co-CEO, Kohlberg, Kravis, Roberts and Company, Henry Kravis. Senior Fellow and Vice Chairman, Hudson Institute as well is going to be there. Scrolling down, Chief Legal Officer of HSBC Holdings. Distinguished Fellow, Carnegie Endowment for International Peace. Distinguished Visiting Fellow, Hoover Institution, Sanford University. Vice President of the State Council Department of Security, Police, and the Economic of Geneva. Oops, that's Geneva there. But this is James Mattis, and Jessica Matthews. CEO of the Messina Group, Jim Messina. Editor-in-Chief of Bloomberg. They often find their way there as well. Here's another one, Craig Mundy from the USA. American Enterprise Institute as well. Global KKR Global Institute, Chairman David Petraeus. Here's another one, Co-Chair, Council on Foreign Relations, former Secretary of the Treasury, Robert Rubin. Senior Associate of Carnegie, that's also from the USA. Google Chairman, of course, is there. I believe they're there pretty often. Presidential of Teal Capital, also from the USA. Partner in Mercury LLC, and Chairman and CEO of Wolfenstein and Company. Wolfenstein and Company, Chairman and Board of International Advisors, the Goldman Sachs Group as well. All made their way there. Now, I want you to notice there's also prime ministers and former prime ministers who are going to be attending. Here is one right here. He is a former prime minister. Moving on, we have Charles Michael, Prime Minister currently of Belgium. He's going to be attending. These are critical players. It's not one. Okay. Mark Rutte, Prime Minister of the Netherlands. He is another one. And then our last one here is Alexander Stubb, and he is actually the former Prime Minister of Finland. So there you have it. There are some more critical players and critical attendants as well. So lots of interesting names found here on the list of attendees. And like I said, everybody is not on this list. There are also some players that are likely not on the list. Now that said, we need to keep in mind that this is happening 3 days after the G7 summit. So my question is, it's likely that those attending the G7 summit could very well be attending the Bilderberg's list meeting, but not on the list. So who's attending G7? Well, let's go there. And the question, I guess, is, are they going to be attending? I'll let you decide. But either way, I'm going to ask the question because I think it is worth asking. So here we are. This is on cnnpolitics.com or cnn.com. But here's what I want to hone in on right here. And this is basically your picture of members of the G7. And this is the G7 that is going to be taking place 3 days prior. As you can see, the date on this is real recent. So taking place now, actually. Oh, no, 9, 10, yeah, taking place around now. But here's the members of the G7. They posed for a group photo. Here's the ones that are basically going to be attending G7, and I believe likely attending Bilderberg behind closed doors where media and everybody cannot see, although we can't see it anyway. But I do believe there is a link. President of the European Council, Donald Tusk. Japanese Prime Minister. Canada's Prime Minister, U.S. President Barack Hussein Obama, German Chancellor, French President, British Prime Minister, Italian Prime Minister, and President of the European Commission. I can guarantee you that some of these players are going to be at Bilderberg. Just word for thought. There. All right, moving on. All right, that said, also released on the Bilderberg website is their official list of agendas on what they're going to be speaking about, so they claim. And as you can see, this was just released today, which is why I am bringing it to you now. The 63rd Bilderberg Conference is set to take place from the 11th through the 14th, and it says in Austria. A total of around 140 participants from 22 different countries have confirmed their attendance. And keep in mind, they don't list all the people who are coming. They don't have to. They don't. They list some. As ever, a diverse group of political leaders and experts from industry, finance, academia, and the media have all been invited. Only select media that are part of the Bilderberg group, obviously. The key topics for discussion. Here's what they're going to discuss. On top of what I talked about yesterday, which was immigration in Europe, as well as the cashless society that was leaked. Let me show you real quick right here. This was leaked by Extreme News, and particularly leaked down below by Heiko Schrung, a journalist in the area, where he talks one of the main objectives is going to be the Ukraine conflict, refugees flow, and those were two things. And there's also cashless society that I talked about as well as part of their agenda. And that is right here, the abolition of cash. The abolition of cash. So there's the things that have been leaked. Now, here's their official press release. Back to key topics here. Let me just fix the screen. All right, so other topics include artificial intelligence. Yes, AI, merging man with machine. Cyber security. You mean takeover security, NSA spying? Yeah, that's what you mean, more surveillance. Chemical weapon threats, that's your nuclear talks and all of that encompasses one. Probably why they're buying safe houses and bunkers. Chemical weapons threats, I just said that. Current economic issues, European strategy, globalization. That is your new world order, folks. They're open about it. It's a legit thing. People like to say, hey, that's a conspiracy theory. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Conspiracy fact. And a lot of conspiracies are fact. They just dub that name to make you look stupid. And that's not the case. New World Order, folks, globalization right there. Greece, Iran, Middle East, NATO, Russia, terrorism, United Kingdom, USA, and US elections. Okay, now let me situate here. Why do they feel the need to talk about our elections? Who's going to be the next president? Probably part of their topic, and who they're going to groom, obviously. I do believe that that's a possibility. But we're on the list, folks. We are on the list. Now, I wanted to just bring this to you guys as quick as I could because it's just freshly released. But there's their topics. And notice that none of the four I said prior have been listed on here. However, they are topics. They were leaked from a news source, an international news source that you're going to have to translate, and I'll leave a link for that below. But in addition to those four topics, we have all these, and we have our participation list, folks. It's about to get wild. Anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest. This is Lisa Haven signing